Welcome to POUSE around the house. In this video I'm going to show you how I plaster a ceiling and a wall. I'll show you how I mix and apply the PVA to prep the wall. I'll show you how I mix the plaster and I'll show you how I apply the plaster. So to give you a quick summary of the job, we've got an old Victorian wall. It's a clay brick wall. It's got a thick lime mortar. It's been painted over the years. It's then more recently had a coat of gypsum plaster, and today we're doing exactly the same. We're going over it with another coat of gypsum plaster. This is because the wall is a bit old and tired. I've had to chase the walls for various cables and things like that, so we're going to try and make it good. If you look by here, we've got this chase which I filled with bonding plaster. We've got this bit behind me where I've broken out the mortar, filled that with bonding plaster, and we got this bit up on the ceiling where I've levelled out the ceiling just to make it a bit more flat. If you want to see me prep the walls, I've actually done that in another video, and a link to that video will pop up on the screen now, and I'll put a link to that video in the description section below. So once your walls are prepped and all the holes are filled and the wall is nice and flat, then the next thing to do with any old wall like this is to cover it in a coat of bonding agent. Now the particular bonding agent I tend to use, which is the cheapest really and probably the most widely used on internal walls, is PVA. This is the PVA I'm using, and you simply mix this down 1 part PVA to 3 parts water. Now I like to mix my PVA in an old milk bottle. I find this particularly good because you can put the lid on, give it a good shake, mix it all together, and also the lid creates a nice seal. If you don't have a seal, then obviously it's going to go off and it's going to go hard. Doing it this way, you can leave it in the bottle and it'll last you a good while. Now once you've mixed your PVA, you can apply this to the wall using either a brush or a roller. I tend to pour it out into a painting tray, and this way I can use a roller, just like when you're rollering paint onto a wall. If there are any difficult smaller areas or in the corners, just use a brush. So I'll try and do 1 coat of PVA all over the wall or the ceiling prior to the job. So either first thing when you're going on the job, or maybe the day before if it's your own house and you've got time. And then just before plastering, I like to do another coat of PVA all over the wall. Let that one dry off till it's just slightly tacky, so not fully dry, and that's the perfect time to apply the plaster. So our wall's all prepped, the holes are filled, it's nice and flat. We've done 2 coats of PVA. Our final coat of PVA is just about gone off, so we're almost ready to mix that plaster. But just before I do that, I'm going to apply some Scrim tape over any joints. Now a lot of people would associate the Scrim tape just with plasterboard, but this can be used over any crack or join between 2 surfaces to help prevent cracking in the future. What I like to do is put Scrim tape over any joins between 2 surfaces. So take here for example where I've used the bonding plaster, fresh bonding plaster next to the old surface of the wall. You can already see a slight join appear in there, and that's just where you've got a bit of shrinkage. So by putting the Scrim tape over the top of this, that should eliminate any cracks in the future. This one is just dial Scrim tape. You can use whatever Scrim tape you want. Some people say some are better than others. If you leave them lying around too long as well, they tend to lose their adhesion on the back, so fresh Scrim tape is always better. And you'll find a lot of plasterers will use like a sharp filling knife like this just to cut the tape. 2 things, I'm not very good at doing that, and also this one's a bit blunt, so I'm just going to cut it using my Stanley knife. So starting at the top, I'm going to work my way down. I'm just going to cut across there, like that. Then when I'm going around these funny angles, I'm just going to follow the line of the crack. So I scrimmed over the chase in the wall. I've also scrimmed over the bit I knocked out and refilled up in the corner, and I also put a couple of lengths of Scrim tape over the joints on the ceiling. The next thing for us to do is mix the plaster. Now because I'm going onto an old wall, not a plasterboard wall, I'm going to use multi-finish. Now if you're going to a plasterboard, you could also use a board finish, which is designed specifically for plasterboard, or multi-finish will go onto plasterboard and old surfaces, as long as they're prepped like we've just done with the PVA. Now when it comes to mixing this, you pretty simply add water to your mixing bucket, and then you add the plaster to the water. If you can avoid it, you don't want to be adding more water at the end. You want to do the water first and add the plaster to the water, so you need to know roughly the right amount of water. Now this is often just practice. However, if you look at the back of the bag of the plaster, it actually tells you the mix ratios, and it says for 1 25 kilogram bag of plaster you need to use 11.5 litres of water. In my experience, this doesn't always work out exactly right. Sometimes if it's a bit warmer, it seems to dry up a bit quicker, go a bit thicker. So a lot of it is just trial and error. But as a general rule, if you're practicing, do it on a small wall first of all, and hopefully you sort of know where you are. So today, I'm just going to fill this bucket almost to the top, which is about 10 litres, and I'm just going to add the bag of plaster until I get the right consistency. If there's a little bit left in the bag, it doesn't matter because I've got to do the second coat anyway. The next thing to consider are the tools you use. Now I'm just going to use this sort of universal paint and plaster paddle mixer, and this has just got a normal end to go into a chuck of a drill. I'm just using my old drill. This is just a power drill that you plug in, a 240 volt drill. If you're a plasterer or you're planning on doing this on a regular basis, then I probably would advise getting a proper paddle mixer designed for mixing plaster. But for my purpose, I don't do it that often, so this will do for me. So this, you just place it in the end of the drill, tighten the chuck. You will see me using shorter ones of these in other videos. I have got like a smaller mixer. The problem you find with that is if you're not using a wide tub and you're using one like this, which is a bit taller, a bit narrower, your plaster tends to come deeper if you're using a lot, and then that won't be long enough. So I bought this one because it's long enough to get to the bottom of the tub. Obviously if you're using a wider tub, it doesn't really make much difference, or again, like I said, just use a proper purpose-made paddle mixer, but they're a bit costly. So I've got one full bucket of clean water. Then we just tear the top of the bag open by here. And then I'm just going to mix that in bit by bit, add a bit more as I go along until I get the right consistency. So on reverse, so I'll set it to forward. And then just use a bucket trowel to scrape off all the powder around the side and make sure it's all mixed in. Add some more and keep going like that. So I didn't quite finish a whole bag, but this is the texture I want. Which is if you pick up a small bit like that, you turn it upside down, it more or less sticks like that. Now you could go a touch thicker, I'm going to clean mine of course, so by the time I get up there it should have gone off slightly, and that'll be just about right. Important thing now is to clean off your paddle mixer. Fill a bucket of water and just turn your drill, rotate your paddle mixer, give it a clean. So first of all I'm going to plaster the ceiling, then I'm going to plaster the wall. I'm going to apply the plaster using my 14-inch Marshalltown trowel. Now this came part worn but is very worn now. And then just using a standard hawk, using the bucket trowel, put the plaster onto the hawk and then take the plaster off using the trowel. As a general rule with the ceiling, you work from the edge and you pull inwards, you go all the way round and then you fill the middle. I'm only doing this on this bit here because I've got stairs here. I'm going to have to get on the ladder over there, so it's a bit of an awkward one because I'm on a landing. So you may see me do it a little bit unorthodox if you like, but we'll get there in the end. By here I'm balancing on a ladder, so apologies for the awkward stance. So for those plasterers out there that may be watching this, you'll notice that I'm not a professional plasterer, I am a DIYer, and it is quite evident by the small amount of plaster that I put on my trowel. The reason for this is if I put too much on, it'll probably just fall off straight down the stairs. The other thing to bear in mind is I haven't plastered for a while, I'm a bit out of practice, I don't have particularly strong arms or upper body strength like a plasterer, and with all these things combined you'll notice I get about 3 or 4 strokes of the trowel to do what a plasterer would probably do with one clean swoop of the trowel. And you may take great delight and notice the sweat pouring off me as I panic about whether or not this ceiling's going to go dry before I get it finished. So now I pull out my speed skim. This is like a plastic troweling tool which is great for flattening in, especially for DIYers like me because it covers a large area and it kind of gets you a bit out of trouble to be honest. And if you want to see a full review and demonstration of the speed skim, I've done another video on this and a link to that video will come up on the screen now. So now the ceiling's flattened in, I start on the wall. I do this by starting on the top left because I'm right-handed, and I work my way across to the right-hand side of the wall. If you were left-handed, you could start in the top right-hand corner of the wall and work your way to the left. So I'm using the same batch of plaster here as I just used on the ceiling, as I mixed up a slightly larger load. The only problem with this is it's been going off a bit and it's gone a bit hard, and as you can see I'm struggling to get it on the wall. Also this wall was a real pain because it was absorbing the moisture really quickly and drying the plaster out fast. So if there's one lesson to be learned from this is as a DIYer, on this particular day I should have done the ceiling first and then tackled the wall on a separate occasion. Especially as both the wall and the ceiling are quite large and the ceiling is over the stairs and extremely difficult to access. So we've done the first coat on the ceiling and the wall, all flattened in. I just used the speed skim on the wall as well just to go over it and flatten it off. I've just been downstairs, mixed another load of plaster. You'll notice with this coat I mixed it a bit wetter. You don't need as much because this is just sort of filling in the gaps and going over the top. Bit of a problem I got today is the temperature's really warmed up, the plaster's going off quick, and my plaster is actually slightly out of date. We had this pandemic, my daughter was home, I couldn't get on with the job, so it's about 3.5 months old, and that didn't help because it means the plaster goes off quicker, so I'm in a bit of a rush here today.
So I apply the second coat in exactly the same way as the first coat, working from the edge and pulling inwards, and then at the end I just fill the bit in the middle. As just mentioned, this coat's a bit thinner and should spread a lot easier. Well, in theory anyway. And same again with the wall, starting top left and working my way to the right. And if you look closely, you can see I'm getting really tired now. My shoulders are aching, I'm hot, I'm sweaty. And I'm thinking about that ceiling drying off that needs a good flattening with that speed skim. So these are the problems that I guess plasterers face all the time. But when you're a DIYer, you're out of practice, you're not particularly quick, probably best not to bite off more than you can chew. As mentioned earlier, my wall is really sucking up the moisture from the plaster here, so I add another coat of water before putting the final bottom coat of plaster on.
Okay, so I just applied all the second coat to the ceiling and the wall. I'm going to go over it all quickly with my speed skim. I've put water all over the edge of this now, flatten it out, give the tools a clean, and then we can start to think about polishing it off.
So as you can hear in the background, my daughter came home from school, she's making a right racket. It's at this point you start to get a twitchy bum with the wet trades if you're a DIYer. You're a little bit slow, the plaster's going dry, you're trying your hardest, your arms are getting tired, your shoulders are tired, kids running up and down the stairs. So we've got to get this speed skim across the ceiling and the wall as quick as possible, flatten it out, and we can get on the trowel and start to polish off. You'll notice I'm using a sprayer here because this plaster is really getting dry fast, and I'll be honest, I'm starting to panic.
Now I'm just going to go around with the trowel, just going to chip off the corners where there's any rough plaster, using this to cut it away, and then I'm going to use my brush, a slightly wet brush, just to brush in the gaps and it fills in any sort of slight holes and will give you a nice clean line.
One thing I haven't mentioned throughout this video is the importance of keeping your tools clean. You should always keep a bucket of clean water handy with a brush, keep that trowel clean, keep the old plaster off it, and that way you should keep any lumps and bumps off the wall.
Now I'm going to use the Ultra Flex. Just go over this with a slightly wet trowel, or I can use the spray if I want to wet it down a bit. I'll just give it a good push into the wall and try and flatten that wall out, fill any last dips and bumps and give a nice smooth finish. Not too smooth though, otherwise you won't get your paint on.
So for polishing off, I add a small amount of water to the ceiling, and then when my trowel turned at a slight angle, I pull really hard and back towards me. This helps give a nice hard, durable finish to the plaster with a slight shine. I then just work my way around the ceiling and the wall. Just to let you know, I got plenty of other plastering videos and tutorials on my channel, so please go and check those out. And also, if you're finding this video useful, then please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as it would really help me out.
So I've been out, washed up, cleaned everything up, let this dry off a bit. I'm going to go back over it again now with the Ultra Flex. It needs a little bit of water, I'll give it a bit more water, but now we're at the stage where it's all flat and smooth. It's just fine-tuning a few little bits here and there.
So at this point we're just covering the wall again with the same methodology, working from top left over to the right. I'm spraying the wall, then pulling the trowel across the plaster tilted at a slight angle. This pushes that plaster in tight, gives you a nice firm, hard and slightly shiny finish. Here you can see me pushing the trowel into the corner of the wall and pulling back hard. This gives you that nice clean line where the ceiling joins the wall. As mentioned before, if it needs a drop of water, put a bit on and play it by ear. You don't want to over wet it or you'll start to get bubbling, but this is just something you get a general feel for while you're on the job. You can see here I've moved to the ceiling using exactly the same method. Just work your way around the whole surface of the wall and the ceiling until you're happy with the finish.
So there we go, that's everything done. Took a while, plaster was a bit out of date, going off a bit quick, and I'll be honest, it caught me a bit by surprise today and I'm a bit out of practice. But before I show you the wall, I'll just quickly summarise. We do our first coat of PVA, let that dry off completely. We do our second coat of PVA, wait for that to go dry and tacky. Then we put on our first coat of plaster, apply that, don't be too fussy. I like to put that on with a normal trowel. I then use the speed skim just to flatten it out, to just sort of speeds things up a bit. Then we go down and mix our second batch of plaster. We get that on the wall while the other coat is still wet. I say wet, you want again that to be going off so it's just sort of tacky to the touch, but you don't want it to dry out. I use the speed skim again just to flatten that out. Then we let the plaster go off a touch, and then as it starts to go off we can start to use either your standard trowel is absolutely fine, or I've got this Ultra Flex from Ox as well, which to be honest is just a bit nicer for smoothing it out. You've got to put a bit less effort in because the blade's a bit thinner, but to be honest with you, you can do all this with a standard trowel, so there's no problems there. But I've got to be fair, the Ultra Flex was pretty good, it gave a nice finish. That is what I do, is sort of go over it with the Ultra Flex, let it dry off again. I'll spray some more water on the wall then just to pick it up a bit, go back over it with the Ultra Flex, and you find that by drawing your trowel across the wall, you'll get what's called fat on your trowel. You see this sort of runny bits of plaster. Then what I do is I push it back into the wall and then I scoop that up into my next sort of trowel on the wall. So you're constantly moving that plaster around. It's all you're doing then is filling any fine dips or bumps or anything like that. And generally, twice over with the final trowel is usually good enough for me, if I'm honest. Sometimes I might go over a third time, but if you just go too shiny, it's no good. You can't get the paint on the wall. And also, once it's painted, I mean, you can be overly fussy and have this thing like polished, but what's the point? Because when you're painting it, the quality of the paint is going to determine the final finish anyway. So that's how I do it. If you've got a different way of doing this, please let me know in the comment section below. But before we finish, let's have a quick look at the wall. So there we go, that's the wall. Apologies there's no light, as obviously I've taken that off at the moment, so it's getting a bit dim. And then there's the ceiling. And you can see just around the edges, I just used the small trowel just to cut away any loose plaster. And I also just used a wet brush. I just sort of pushed into those corners and it just seals any small little holes where the plaster hasn't filled it. And if you want, then you can go back over that with a trowel because it sometimes leaves a few brush lines. But again, like I said, no need to be too fussy sometimes. By the time you put a coat of paint over the top, it'll remove those brush lines anyway. So that's entirely up to you. So hopefully now you can see it's always best to get the professionals in because this is too much like hard work and I wish I hadn't bothered. If you're interested in any of the tools or the products used in this video, I'll put links to those in the description section below. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon for regular notifications. I've been POUSE around the house. Ta-ta, farewell.